Fallout is the greatest adaptation of a video game into a modern iteration in what is called a TV show, which is an opinion you would have if you're an idiot, because this show was terrible. I can't believe that I wasted so much time watching a show that started off great, started off like a true adaptation. It's the most lived in, brilliantly created as far as the sets. It felt lived in. It is the only video game I can think of that actually I felt watching the show that I was living in Fallout Wasteland. And then the story just ran off a cliff, especially in the final episode. So, needless to say, this show was amazingly disappointing. I have so many opinions and thoughts, but I want to hear from Jason. Jason, you hated this show, right? Of course.
May the Nolan brothers, the ghost of the Nolan brothers, damn you for all eternity for the comments you're saying out of your mouth. Yeah. Dude, but Jonathan, right? Jonathan Nolan, how could anything that he creates not be good?
Hey, Jonathan, it's like, your show fucking sucked. I'm pissed.
Dude, I mean, and we have praised his short story turned into a movie on this very show.
Doodlebug? Memento. That's a deep cut for you Nolanites out there. Doodlebug.
Oh, wait, what was Doodlebug? I don't know that one.
It's that short that Christopher Nolan did prior to anything. But yes, the point being is that obviously I don't think the show is I don't think you're an idiot if you like the show. I'm just saying that I was very pissed off by that last episode because the whole show fell off a cliff of what it could have been and then devolved into nonsense. Jason, please talk to me.
The movie I was referencing was Memento. That was the old Jonathan Nolan wrote that short story, and Chris turned it into a movie, and we loved it.
Yes, Chris.
Anyways,
Boromir of the brothers.
I guess, yeah, I am a Westworld fan, so I felt those
another vibes show that fell off the cliff.
Yeah, you're right, but that was actually like 3 seasons into it. It started to fall off the cliff. I mean, it had a good run there for the first 2.
First one.
But you're absolutely somewhat right. The vibes of the first, especially 3 episodes, was you were sunk your teeth into this beautiful world, these fucking fabulous characters, all 4 of them. I felt like I was waiting to see what each of their stories was going to happen. It did have a little slug in the middle during the whole like Vault 4 stuff, and then the what was it, like the organ something like transplant things or something else going that, and then all the other experimental things in the middle. But then I don't know, I like this finish. I enjoyed how it tied up some of those stories and her dad kind of riding off that way, and then each of them kind of having their own storylines after it. So I am really interested to see a lot of the finer points of what you're upset about, but sir, I do not agree.
I'm more middle of the road as far as I also really was intrigued. I liked it all the way. I'd say I liked the first 6 out of 7 episodes. I forget which episode. It's hard. I binged it, so it's like hard to remember exactly which one. But the last episode, the way it tied up was just kind of like, I don't know, super unsatisfying. It had so much potential going for it. And the show looks amazing. It looks just, it feels so many of the things that happen in it and the world building and the set design and the costumes, everything feels just like you're playing the video game. And they do so much build up and mystery and this, that. And then like, I think like 3 out of the 4 characters, like the way that their story, like the twists that they have are kind of either obvious or just uninteresting, and just like of the routes that they could have gone, they took the wrong one most of the time. It's weird. I really enjoyed the first 5-6 episodes. I can't say I'm like, after that the way it had ended, that it made me excited about a season 2. I'll still watch season 2. But yeah, kind of little bit disappointing as far as how good some of the earlier moments were.
It started off great. The Lucy, even though her name is so confusing because her name is Lucy McLean, which I cannot not hear Lucy McLean without hearing Lucy McLean residence in Die Hard.
McLean residence, Lucy McLean speaking.
Mm-hmm, and she's also like a focal character in Live Free or Die Hard. So it was really weird that her name is Lucy McLean. I can't stop thinking that she's the daughter of Bruce Willis.
Maybe.
Was I the
Yeah, I
only
was
one
gonna
that thought
say.
that?
Yeah.
Did you guys not have that?
Do you think I remember Bruce Willis's wife's name from fucking Die
His
Hard?
daughter. She answered the
Oh, daughter.
phone.
Sorry.
She has one line in there, and it's Lucy McLean residence. How do you not remember? Anyway,
Bro, Die Hard nerd.
a
Wear
diehard
that
nerd.
badge. Wear that badge.
Anyway, it's the set designs and the costumes are incredible. There is literally no other video game, movie, or show
Oof.
that literally feels so much like you're in the Wasteland. Like you feel so much like you're there. It was so incredibly done, and I felt like Lucy McLean was a great character who goes from this gentle, nice vault dweller, and slowly over the course of the 8 episodes, becomes more cynical, obviously, because she always tries to expect the best of people and always constantly gets the worst of people. I thought her character, her acting for the most part was great. And Walton Goggins is a god amongst actors. I mean, this dude literally cannot not be amazing in everything he's ever been in. Every time he's on scene, he's just so cool as the worst person ever. I mean, this dude chops people's fingers off. He guts them. He uses their ass meat for jerky. He shoots like civilians. Like he has no moral boundaries at one point from the majority of this show. He's incredible, and it's like The Witcher. It's almost worth just watching his scenes because he is so damn good in it. But my God, I mean, Maximus. I mean, let's just start with this. Why did we recycle the Finn and Rey story arc? Where like we have. Why is it that Hollywood is like, let's take a black dude, neuter him, have him be so sexually irrelevant, completely non-threatening, and that's where I come. Like that's where it feels like you're taking the black dude and you're making him this completely non-threatening dude. That he's not that he's a virgin, because a virgin energy is like Transformers. How Shia LaBeouf is like going apeshit crazy when he's around Megan Fox, like, but he's a virgin and he's like a high school virgin. And, hey, I get that. I can like relate and see that. But we have Finn and now Maximus that both are just like, I don't know how my cock works. Cock. And Lucy at one point is like, you want to have sex? What the fuck did that come from? It's so badly handled, and I'm just like, why is his character so shittily handled? And I don't think the actor did bad, but I just feel like we're getting this constant, just non-threatening dude, and so that him and the female character can kind of have a romance, but not really, because we don't want to commit to that.
I saw it more as a balance of characters, that they had 2 strong ones, being, Lucy and Howard, and then the 2 weaker ones being her brother, Norm, I think, and then Maximus. It's like those are the 4 main characters, and I think they just didn't want to have 2 like superhero character, or only 2 superheroes and 2 kind of like regular or below regular, so to have that kind of view, because I thought of this as different character builds that people chose for Fallout. It's like you would, in your selection screen, you're choosing, hot girl, scientist, or like, and specializes in something kung fu or something, because she's able to actually kick ass at some points of the show that they really don't go into, but I'm sure she took some class in the vault. But like,
they do show, just as a quick, they do show early on, like the first episode, she trains in like marksmanship and combat and hand to hand. So it is established early, and then kind of later you get the reward. But yeah, it is in there.
Which is just like, abilities or power-ups in the game, you can go different routes with those things. So that's what I viewed this as, where it's like they're not going to create the same character 4 times over. It's like they needed to be vastly different in their kind of character arcs. And now I like the Maximus character. I really did like him being so just like over the world and like simpleton. And then when he finally finds the vault, it's like, this is it. This is what I want. Just, I don't want to do anything else but be here. It's like, how many people in that world are only looking for that, and how many people like that are in our world now. So it's just it's an accurate portrayal of paths that people would take to the world of Fallout.
I like that short little period in Vault 4. I enjoyed that because I'm a sucker for Chris Parnell.
I know you were going to talk about
Chris Parnell more than me.
He was so good.
Love Chris
He was
Parnell.
so good.
And so when he showed up with one eye, I was like, because he has a very silly style of humor to him that he plays with all of his characters, but he's awesome. I like I think the Vault 4 is done well as far as subverting expectations of like, you think all the vaults are this evil, monstrous, like, oh, they have these crazy nefarious intentions where they're not actually harming people and they just want to like live safely in this little area. There's some really funny moments with Chris Parnell when he is like, he's like, your punishment is death. And he takes the sword and he's just like,
It's like sawing
really
at it.
funny stuff. He's like, this, get that sharpened. Like all that stuff is really funny, and I think he's great. I think that part for Maximus is the best part for his entire character. That you get the guy that's from the rough outside world, his city is bombed. He gets a tiny taste of comfort and is immediately like, oh my God, I will never leave. I think that's the best. Everything that happens on this side and that side of him, I think is pretty fucking bad, and he's pretty fucking boring. And just like gives you no reason to root for him because he does like little shitty things, but nothing that's so shitty that you're like, oh my God, he's so fucked up.
That's why that Vault 4 sequence works, because you're seeing Vault 4 with your own eyes and you're like, this is a weird thing going on. Like, you're relating to Lucy looking at everything and you're like, this is weird what's going on. The problem is that when the show wraps up, the last episode should just be called Fallout Exposition, because it literally is just, wait a minute, hold on, wait, hold it, hold on. Okay, the last episode could literally be summed up by this. It's the entire episode is Lucy looking like this at her dad for 45 fucking minutes. Just the whole, Lucy, look at me, Lucy, look at me. And it's just, you're getting dumped on that evil Vault Tech is evil. And you're just being told this and shown in flashbacks, and I'm supposed to, what happened to like the fun romp of Walton Goggins like shooting up the Brotherhood, and then the brother, like that happens in a short sequence later, but it was like throughout the show you were seeing for your own eyes what was happening, and then you just get told at the end, evil corporation is evil corporation, and I'm supposed to like be blown away that that's the case. Whereas in Fallout games, it's much more of like the parody within itself, and there's always an evil family conspiracy at the beginning and end of each game. So that rings true. But they just went so overboard with like, I'm supposed to be devastated that Vault-Tec is evil. I felt it was very ineffective, and it was a lot of tell and little show.
I thought it was clever that they were the ones instigating. It's going to be all right, Mav. It's going to be all right. See, I thought it was clever, the fact that they instigated a nuclear war to make sure that their product got used. Like,
but it's already, that's showed, he says that. The communist friend of Walton Goggins says that outright the first time they see him. He goes, you don't think this, he basically essentially says, what will they benefit from? They benefit from war actually happening. So it's set up. It's not like it's like a quick change of expectation plot twist. It's like, oh, it's set up, and then it's this long kind of hold you out, and then, oh yeah, that is the reveal.
There's a difference between the conspiracy theorists spouting it at the beginning and then actually hearing the people go through with it. Like it's just kind of setting it up.
Big like, vault industrial complex. To paraphrase Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Wait, there's a Fallout Mission Impossible movie, isn't there as well? Isn't there one
that's
Fallout?
We should have watched and reviewed that and saved myself 7 fucking hours I won't get back.
Oh man,
dude! But best adaptation of video game though. Tell me a better one.
No,
Doom?
As far as world building and lived in, it 100% is so well done. It blows everything else away. I mean, as far as shows, you could, it's obviously you can compare it to Last of Us. But Last of Us still feels like its own thing. This does feel like Fallout. That's why I'm so disappointed, because it started off so promising, and then it just got it was a terrible show on Apple Plus, which is a garbage streaming service you should never subscribe to. Is Silo
Ted Lasso,
also a show made for not men?
No.
Silo is a terrible show where the whole show is about people living underground because there's a fallout, and it's all, you can't go to the surface. And then the whole fucking, I stopped watching after like episode 4 or 5, but the whole show is predicated on what happens next. There's a little conspiracy, and this seemed like it wasn't that at first, because you kept getting progression and immediately they go to the surface, and then we follow along Lucy and her adventure. But quickly it became we get a little more info on what's happening in the vault, and we get a little more, and then it just became a little more and a little more, and then it's a conspiracy. I don't care. I was having fun on the romp around the wasteland. Nobody reads all of the computer documents in Fallout 3 or 4. You don't read. No, you don't, Jason.
This
Stop
guy.
it.
Who's
When
got
they
two
have-
thumbs and picks up every item and reads every book and
When
does
you
every
go
little
to a
side quest?
warehouse that's infested with cockroaches, you don't read all 7 dated like employee of the month like resumes that you can, but you don't do that. Don't tell me you do that.
Do not judge. I have like 400 hours in Fallout 3. I just looked at that last save file. I was like, holy crap, I put some hours into that one. Yeah. I did not expect you to take that angle with this show. I thought this would have been like praise the whole time. And
I was seething. That last episode, I was literally just like, please end, please end, please end.
So reading this article, and they have been approached countless times by doing a TV show, and this was Nolan coming to them being like, hey, I love this game. I've played a lot of the series throughout my entire life. I want to do something like this in my Westworld, fashion. They were like, absolutely. But you can't use any storylines that we have done in any of our games. You must have an original storyline, but you can use all the Easter eggs. You can use all of the landscape or the cities and the reference, all of that stuff. So we're talking about a franchise for how long has been going, and he had to come up with an original idea within that franchise. So I imagine the first season, first iteration is probably a little rocky, but the second season is going to like iron out a lot of those like story pitfalls that we did see, because this was just character building. Think of it like this was your first mission when you just built your character, figuring out the world, and now like the next couple seasons are getting into it. Oh, wait. One thing you did approach or touch on that I want to talk about. Okay, the armor that the Brotherhood are wearing.
Yeah, the Brotherhood armor.
It
the
is
T60.
T60. You're right. Good job. It is borderline cool, but borderline lame. Like there are some scenes where you can tell it's like foam suit this guy is wearing, and there's other ones where it looks really solid. What were your guys' kind of take on that that armor that he's kind of wearing most of the time?
I kind of agree. And there were moments where it felt like, oh, this armor makes you fucking super badass, and this would be the shit. But then there's other moments when they move so slow and they look kind of helpless. Just as far as how the tech is presented, but yeah, there are definitely some close-ups that it doesn't look good, and it looks a little bit better far away.
I thought the costumes generally looked good, and I feel like the armor mostly looked good. My problem was with the voice modulation. I just felt like that was a weak gimmick, where it was just played for laughs, that it was like badass voice, and then it turns out that
Michael Rappaport,
who definitely doesn't have mouth herpes, he is like this pussy, and so like the armor, the whole voice modulation is supposed to be he's cool, but then he's really sucks. But then everyone still has the voice modulation, and it's just kind of lame after a while. And I'm like, it just sounds stupid, especially the way Maximus talks, and he's like, and it just doesn't work after that. And I felt like it was a cheap gimmick, but I do like the costumes generally speaking. My other problem was that the core,
fusion core,
it comes out, you can't get out of the costume. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. That's such a stupid.
That's not in the game. Detail from the game.
That's not in the games. You can get out. Your fusion core runs out. You can still get out of your armor, and it's not like, oh, it's not in the games, but that's just a stupid. Like, this is in the year 2290, and you can't get it out of an armor fusion core operated machinery without it working unless someone else gets you out. That doesn't make any sense. Just like it doesn't make any sense how the bad lady who turns out to not be the worst lady is a 70-year-old lady with plastic surgery living in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. That didn't make any sense either. That was stupid.
That armor scene, though, when he's stuck in it, that was like claustrophobia, like, and invoking some like nightmare fuel for me, because I kept putting myself in that, like, that is a shitty position to be in that world, like inside that armor, watching everything happening, not being able to move anything. So I bet it's much better storytelling device than anything. You know, it's like, let's fudge how this actually works, because that was a cool scene and a cool, like, help me out kind of scenario where, brings her back into the fold.
Plot device, Jason. It's called a plot device.
Exactly.